What is up, Posse? My name is Will Bronick, and welcome to what is going to be a very big episode of Quick Movie Reviews. I'm currently editing the Germany trip, and that'll come up sometime in the near future, probably within like the next few days or so, or weeks. But I figured I'd give you guys some movie reviews. I was able to see a few movies on my way to and from Germany, and trust me, I saw quite a few. So basically, the same rules apply. I'm going to give you my quick overall thoughts on these movies, what I liked, what I didn't like, and basically just to give you my grade. And there's more than like three or four that I'm going to be doing, so just be sure to bear with me. So, with that being said, let us begin episode 3 of Quick Movie Reviews. Alita Battle Angel was pretty engaging. On a visual scale, it is fantastic. You could make the argument that it is probably the most visually gorgeous movie of 2019, if not at least one of them. I love the performances, especially from Mahershala Ali. He was great as the villain. I felt like the motorball scene, for those who have seen the movie, which I'm sure would be a lot of you, goes on a little bit too long, and I feel like that the exposition kind of drags on this movie, or makes this movie drag on a little bit more. And other than that, I feel like this was a very fun movie. It was great performances, great visuals, and I'll admit the soundtrack was pretty good as well. So for my grade, I'm gonna give Alita Battle Angel a B plus. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World was great. It was a really great movie. Like, the animation was probably the best out of all the movies. I would have loved to have seen this movie in 3D if I had the chance. Um, but it had probably the best villain these movies have had. He was more clever, and he was actually pretty intimidating. The villain from the second movie, I honestly don't remember that much of. Other than that, he just waves a stick and commands all the dragons. And it had, in my opinion, a very emotional but also sweet ending. And I'll admit I did tear up a little bit after watching this movie. Some of the humor I felt like could have been better, but it didn't really ruin the experience for me. So for my grade, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World gets an A. The Lego Movie 2, I wanted to really like, and I did enjoy it, but sadly not as much as the first one. Like, it's great seeing this kind of stop motion animation from with the Legos, and I felt like that was very creative when I first saw the first Lego movie. And this wasn't really the sequel I was really hoping it would be, mainly because I felt like this movie was made intentionally mainly for kids. Like, it had some clever humor, but like How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, some of it just didn't really work. It did have a good twist to this movie, but other than that, this was just a good movie. It's nothing special, but it's probably nothing I'm really gonna see again, or at least over and over. For my grade, the Lego Movie 2, the second part, will get a B. I'm just gonna say right now, this Hellboy sucks. And I mean, wow, does it suck. Okay, for the record, I never read a lot of the Hellboy graphic novels, but I know enough to know that this is a far from faithful adaptation. Um, uh, the acting was fine, especially from David Harbour. I mean, he tried his best, but he was not enough to save this movie. What dragged this movie down was the direction it went, and the CG is easily some of the worst I've ever seen from a comic book movie. It's not as bad as, say, like Spawn, but it's pretty high up there. This was just a bland and probably easily forgettable movie. So for my grade, Hellboy will get a D minus. When it comes to DC movies, the best, at least when it comes to comedy, Shazam is definitely the top one. I mean, Zach Levy was great as Shazam. He practically carried the whole movie. His humor was spot on. I love the kid who played Freddy because I also loved him in It Chapter 1, and I'm looking forward to that one too. I loved the villain, Dr. Savannah. He was very well done by Mark Strong. This movie was definitely aware of what it was trying to be. Like it was trying to, I wouldn't say mock, but it was supposed to be a little bit of a parody of like superhero movies, and it's actually something that's done very well. Like the humor was well done. It was more colorful than any other of the DC movies. Um, and it actually had a really good message, about family. And I admit it was a little bit of it had a little bit of emotion to it as well. So for my grade, Shazam is going to get an A minus. Just when I thought that The Nun was probably the weakest out of all the Conjuring movies, The Curse of La Llorona definitely takes the cake. I mean, granted, this is very loosely based on all the other movies, but this movie was just boring and it focused way too much on the jump scares, which is exactly what The Nun suffered from. I mean, it had good acting, but the jump scares was just too much, and it didn't really tap into the potential of the story of La Llorona, which definitely would have been a lot more creepier. I just thought this was a waste of time, even though it was only 90 minutes. I just did not like it all that much, and I honestly think when it comes to scary movies, or if you're a fan of the Conjuring movies and you're wondering if this movie is worth watching, if you haven't seen it, then I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, no, you're probably better off not seeing this because, A, like I said before, it has very little to do with the Conjuring universe. And two, it's easily the weakest out of all of them. So for my grade, I'm going to give The Curse of La Llorona a D. Guys, that just about does it for this episode of Quick Movie Reviews. I know it didn't seem like a whole lot, but I tried to cram it in as much as I possibly could. So, I really enjoyed most of these movies. Some of them could have been better, but yeah, this was just kind of mixed feelings about. It was it was pretty mixed between all these movies, my opinions. So, next up will be the top 10 episodes of Teen Titans, my favorite episodes from the show. And then will come the vlog from Germany, or the video from Germany. And then you can expect more movie reviews on the way. So, until next time, see you later, Posse.